All right, welcome back to the show. Today, I'm excited about what I'm going to talk about today, and I've talked a little bit about it before, I'm sure. Probably have had a show that we've talked about this, that was centered around this, but we've kind of got, I don't want to say new insights, but maybe some more information to add. And this came about basically because of my son, who's 8 years old. He's playing basketball right now. He's going in third grade, and he just turned 8, so he's younger. He's a younger third grader, and he's in this 3-on-3 basketball league, and it's third and fourth graders, and it's him and 3 other buddies that are going third grade, and they've been getting. There's been 2 sessions. The first session, they're 4 weeks long. First session, they got waxed every single game. Found out that we're not just playing against third and fourth graders. In fact, from what I can tell, maybe we've seen 1 or 2 third graders. And our entire team, the 4 kids are all third graders. But from what I can tell, we've played at minimum all fourth graders, some fifth graders, and I've heard some sixth graders as well. So clearly just physicality, right? Like our boys have no chance of trying to compete. And it's been frustrating, but it's amazing how much better they've gotten because they've been playing against bigger kids, stronger kids, more physical kids that are stealing the ball every time they dribble. It's hard for them to make a pass. So it's made them a ton better, and it hasn't been comfortable. And it's not fun losing every single game. It's not fun losing in general. But I think we need to, and there's another portion of the story, but I think we need to just, us as people and as society, and I think this is where school fails us. And when I say school, it's not just academics. I think it's everything with probably growing up too, including athletics. But it's like every game is, the NBA championship or the FIFA Cup or the Super Bowl, or like it's one game. They're 8 years old. It means absolutely nothing. All it means is these games right now that they're playing to have fun, to get exercise, to learn how to be committed to something, to become leaders, to work together. Like there's all these skills. That's what they're learning. That's what they need to learn. And us as parents, I know listen, I'm coaching these kids, and it's tough for me because I'm as competitive as anyone else. And I'd love to say more than anybody else, but that's just kind of adding a layer there. But it's funny because it really doesn't mean anything. A year from now, we'll probably look back and be like, yeah, these boys got smoked, and now they're in fourth grade or going in the fourth grade. And now they're probably, I won't say dominating, but a year from now, they'll be playing a lot better. And probably way further ahead than what they would have been if they wouldn't have played against those older kids. So the second part of this story is this week we're in this is the second session of the 4-week 3-on-3 tournament or whatever you call it. And we played 3 games each night. First 2 games, the boys played incredible. Best that they've played, that I've seen them play, and I've been around them and coaching them for a year and a half or so. I've known the boys probably longer than that. I've known the boys longer than that, but best I've seen them play. And now we played teams more to our skill set, but I still think they were older than us, at least some of them. But we're competitive. Could have won one game, but ended up losing. The second game was closer, but they were definitely older. They were definitely fourth graders. And then we had a third game, and apparently at least one kid, if not 2 of the kids, were, I believe, going in the 6th grade, and should have been playing obviously in the division above us, but they decided to play in the 3rd and 4th grade division. And apparently the one kid is pretty good. Not going to talk bad about a kid, but he was okay, but he's playing against 3rd and 4th graders, right? So, and this is no fault to any parents or anything else, but there's a kid on our team that has an older brother, And everyone's like, let's have, the older brother play on our team so that we can actually compete with these guys. And I'm getting furious because in my mind, I'm like, and this game means absolutely nothing. On top of that, these kids, once they, to me, once you try to bring in reinforcements, now you're creating an excuse, right? Even though these kids are at least a foot taller than our kids, you're still creating an excuse. You're creating doubt in their mind that they can even compete with this older team. So I had to talk with the kids before the game, and it was, you guys are good. You guys are very good. And if you're afraid of this team, then we shouldn't play. But there's no reason to be afraid of this team. There's no reason to be afraid of losing. There's no reason to be afraid of a challenge, which is what this is, which I think kind of goes back to my point of all this is we're all kind of afraid of challenges. And I think that's probably just how we're ingrained as kids, obviously. And I'm doing my best with coaching, with trying to instill some of these things. And this isn't me trying to toot my own horn about coaching or anything, but I think this is where coaching, teaching, all this needs to change. And we need to take bigger challenges. We need to take bigger risks. And it's amazing. Our boys went out. We played against this older team and fought really hard. Our boys were physical. They fought for rebounds. They fought for loose balls. It was obviously harder for them to get shots off, but they did. And they scored, I forget how many points we had. I want to say 8 or 10. And it's only a 15-minute game, right? So it was, I don't know, 30 to 10, maybe something like that. 12, 14, something like that. Clearly they were going to win, but our boys didn't back down. The other part that I didn't like was the other team, probably the last 4 minutes of the game, decided that they were going to play defense with their hands behind their back. And I'm furious on the sideline. I'm like, we're not handicapped. And I'm just generalizing that. There's nothing wrong with us. We can compete. We've already been playing these kids hard. And in my mind, it was almost, and I don't know if the coach made them do that, but there's two things that I see wrong with the other team. One, they're in the 3rd and 4th grade league. They'll probably try to win a trophy, which is insane because especially against us, they got worse. Those kids are playing defense with their hands behind their back and not even moving, standing in spots, basically, barely playing defense. On offense, not playing offense, right? They can make a couple passes, 1 or 2 dribbles and get a wide open shot. And they weren't. They're going half speed, so they got worse. So what is that coach doing to those kids? He's actually making those kids worse because he's bringing them down and saying, hey, you're not good enough to go compete with the older kids, the 5th and 6th graders. You guys aren't good enough. You have to come down and play 3rd and 4th graders, which to me is insane. But also, I think that's kind of how society is. Let's not really challenge ourselves. Let's go, let's play it safe. Let's go get I've been in my 9 to 5 for 15 years. I'm going to stay there. And I'm comfortable in this position. I'm comfortable making whatever money it is, right? We don't challenge ourselves. And I'm not saying everyone has to be an entrepreneur. I'm not going down that road, but I think most of us do not challenge ourselves. And when I say most, probably 99.9% of us do not challenge ourselves. And I want to do this podcast because I'm also reminding myself of, I tried my best to challenge myself, but at the same time, I don't think I'm taking big enough challenges. I haven't done a deal, and not that I have to do a deal for a challenge, but I haven't done a deal in a year and a half. Now we do have 1, maybe 2 that are, I think we should be getting, knock on wood, should be getting pretty close to the finish line of wrapping these up and actually taking down a couple deals. But I'm looking for other ways to challenge myself too. And actually that reminds me of a college friend that was on the show. I think it was about a year ago, Bobby Petrus. I believe he's 43, 44 years old. And you can go back and listen to the episode, but he played college football, played semi-pro football, Arena League. I think he got in the MMA for a little bit. fast forward, he started his own company with his sister and all this, and now he just tried playing college basketball, which he was basically denied, but went through all the training, so challenging himself, right? Not afraid of failure. He just played in the basketball tournament. If you don't know what that is, it's on ESPN. It's I think the winner gets $1 million or something like that. So technically, you can kind of call that playing pro basketball because he's playing for money, right? So whenever I think of someone trying to challenge themselves, I always think of him. A lot of times I think of him. What is Bobby doing? Bobby's not really afraid of failure. He's just looking to challenge himself, push himself, see how far he can go. And I'm sure, and maybe I should have him back on the show, but I'm sure the things that he's learned and who he's become through those challenges is way more important than any of the failures that he's gone through. Because without a doubt, he's gone through failures, right? He went through, I think, a year of training with or at least 6 months, something like that, with the college basketball team. And his eligibility was denied. So technically, a lot of people would be like, well, he just wasted his time. He failed. He wasn't able to play. No, he learned a ton. He challenged himself. He went through that entire process. He's got probably in great shape. Not only physically challenged himself, but mentally too, because he's over 20 years older than these guys, right? He's old enough to be his teammates' dads. And he's out there challenging himself. So I think kind of back to my point with all this, I don't want the basketball of all this to drown everything out. But for whatever reason, schools and everything, even growing up, us as parents raising kids, I don't think we're challenging our kids enough. I think we're keeping them safe. And obviously, listen, I'm all about keeping my kids safe in all facets, but we need to challenge them more. We need to take bigger shots, take bigger risks, and learn from those mistakes. And who we become and the obstacles that we overcome is what's important. It's not about the losing. While none of us like to lose, we need to lose more and lose bigger, and learn from that. You can't just lose. So going back to my son and his basketball team, can't just lose that game, not play hard, not be physical, not play as a team, and not learn anything, right? That's when losing is, you can't do that. That's bad, right? That's pretty obvious. But what's important is they learned a ton, and we talked afterwards, and some of the boys spoke up and kind of about things that they learned too, and I gave them a few nuggets, but that's what's important. And I guarantee next time we play together, they're going to be 10 times better because of that one game that we played. Because we played against older boys, and for half the game, they tried to be somewhat competitive with us, and then they just kind of gave up in a way and just kind of let us do whatever we wanted, which to me, again, hurts them more than us. And our boys were still fighting. So to kind of wrap all this up, that's, we're not, all of us, none of us are playing big enough. None of us are taking big enough shots, big enough risks. We need to do that more often. Quit playing safe. You're not growing. If you're not growing, you're dying. In fact, who was I talking to yesterday about that? I was talking to a buddy about that. If you're not growing, you're dying. Period. That's not just business, but that's personal, right? So if you're not growing, in fact, and I'll put this out there, the people that are still hanging on, listening. I'm planning on getting a guitar, and I have I don't have a ton of interest in playing a guitar, but I want to challenge myself. Plan on getting a guitar next week or two, and learning how to play. And that's more just challenging myself. Maybe that's not a big challenge, but it's something that I've always thought about. It'd be cool if I could play guitar. My guess is I'm probably not going to, be actively learning 5 years from now. I'll challenge myself, learn some songs, and probably move on to the next challenge. But I will grow personally in that time frame. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to take on some bigger risks too. So that's all I've got today. I feel like I'm rambling at this point, but end of the day, guys, girls, take bigger shots, take bigger risks, quit playing it safe. And that can still be in a 9 to 5. That could be whatever you're doing. Just take bigger shots. Okay. That's all I've got. Appreciate you guys listening, and feel free to reach out. I love the feedback. any feedback I get, whether you like a show, hate a show, want to hear something different, want to come on the show, whatever it is, reach out. And you can go to our website, thedomorepodcast.com, to reach out. And we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for following, subscribing, and listening to this episode of the Do More podcast hosted by John Farling. To learn more or ask questions, go to l4investing.com.